Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, hello, hi sir.
Yeah, hi. Sorry for the delay. I think they changed this meeting today.
Yeah, the change ID.
So, do you have any questions in previous session?
Previous system. Oh, I did not do the workout on it. Just I have listened for it. Today I will do.
So, we discussed about XML, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Today we will see navigation controls. Okay, just a second. So, now we will see navigation controls. What is navigation controls? Uh, every application like needs menu, right? Because when you open your application, the launch page will be loaded or the startup page will be loaded, and from that page you should navigate to different pages. So initially when you log into the Gmail, the inbox will be loaded. If you click on send items, that send items page will be loaded. Drafts page will be loaded. If you click on my profile page will be loaded. These are the like menu items or the links which will use to navigate to that particular page. Okay, so in .NET we have few default navigation pages, navigation controls. Okay, this is menu.aspx page. I added new menu. So if you go to your toolbox, so this is your toolbox. So in this toolbox we have navigation section. Navigation section. So in this navigation section we have different controls: menu control, tree view control. Okay, we'll see how to do that. So you can drag and drop menu, and you can add items to your menu like this. Click on this arrow mark, edit items will be opened. So okay, so if you want to add one item, this will add a root item. Okay, if you want to add a child item, you can click on this one, it will add a child item. So I already added M as a root item and M11 as a child one. So if you want to add one more sibling, click on this one. Okay, if you click on this one, it will add a child item to that particular item. Okay. So this M1 is a menu. So I am giving the text here, the value here. Okay. Here navigation URL. This is navigation URL where you can define the location. So if you click on M1, it will be redirected to this DB registration page. Okay. In a similar way, M2, you can define M text and value. Also, you can define the navigation URL. So I will define email.aspx. So like you can define this one also, M21 text value and navigation URL you can define. Okay, my parent control.aspx. M22 means login membership.aspx. Can't I define external links? Yes, you can define external links also. Okay, here you can define http google.com. So I'll add one more. Sorry, I deleted it accidentally. http www.google.com. M32 www.facebook.com. So this is one kind of control, menu control. Okay, and tree view control, it's a different kind of, it's also menu control. Okay, click on edits. So tree view control, it will display structure in a tree view. So here also it will have same text and value, navigate URL, you can define the navigate URL, dbregistration.aspx. For T12, I will define my content page.aspx. Okay, for T21, I will define parent control.aspx, and T22 this membership. If you want to add one more, T3. Okay, and for this child would be T31, and the navigate URL would be http www.bing.com. T3132 http www.twitter.com. Okay, so now you run your menu.aspx, it has startup page, and run it. Okay, so your menu control will display menu on dynamic. When you place mouse over on the menu, it will display the menu. If you place mouse over on M11, here below you are seeing the URL. Are you seeing the URL? Localhost 1754 dbregistration.aspx. Are you seeing it?
Localhost, yeah, 1754 menu. Yeah, I'm seeing.
So M12 like this. M. Okay. So the difference between menu control and tree view control is, tree view control you have to manually expand and collapse, but menu control will be automatically expanded and disabled and enabled when you place mouse over on that particular section. Okay. So but tree view you have to specifically like expand and collapse. So this will redirect to your Gmail. Okay, this will redirect to your related to your parent control. Okay, this is also same. 3.1 means it will be related to bing.com. 3.2.1 means twitter.com. So like that it will do. 1.2. Okay. So this you will use to define your menus. You can also define using hyperlinks. Okay. You can also define by using hyperlink. Go to your toolbox. There is a hyperlink standard. There is a hyperlink. Okay. Go to the properties. Change the name of the hyperlink. Go to Google. Okay. And you can set the navigate URL, or here you can define http google.com. Okay. www. Also you can define one more hyperlink. My XML. Here navigate URL will be there. So there change it to okay. So this will reach you to navigate to Google, and this will load the grid. Okay. So this is about navigation controls. You have to navigate. You have to define navigation control. Any questions here?
Yeah, understood.
So then we will see exception handling.
Okay.
We'll see exception handling. What is exception? What is exception and what is exception handling? Exception is something like when you are executing your program, okay, something went wrong. When you are executing your program, something went wrong, okay, and you have to, you should not display any like confused statements to the user. Okay, we'll see what is exception handling. Do we have exception? Delegate lambda expression log membership. Just a second, I'm getting some call. Yeah, this is so this is exception. We'll discuss exception on this. We'll discuss exception on this web page. Okay, so on the page load, see int x equal to 0, I assigned x value as 0, okay, y value as 10 and the z value as 0. So basically I defined x, y, z, and for each and every variable I assigned some values 0, 10, 0. Okay, so I will remove this code. Then see what will happen. Okay, and here what I am doing, z equal to y by x. Z equal to y by x means 10 by 0, which will give exception. Okay, y by 0, 10 by 0 means it will give a infinite exception. Okay, and after that I have two more statements, z equal to z plus plus, z equal to z minus minus. Okay, we'll execute this and we'll see what will happen. Okay, set up this. So when I run this program, okay, so basically this statement will give a runtime error. Okay, we don't know the value in y and x at compile time. Okay, this like calculation will throw a runtime error. Okay, so after this application will be break. See, as an end user, if you see this kind of information, what you feel? Server error in application attempted by divided by 0. Okay, so unhandled exception occurred during the execution. So as an end user, if you see, as an end user, this is not, as an end user, you will feel bad when you see this kind of exception. Sometimes you will feel irritated. Okay, even this is not relevant to the end user. So as an end user, you don't know what is this z equal to y by x, why I did this, why this application is doing this calculation. So all those kinds of questions will occur. And most importantly, after this line of code, so at this line of code, the exception is occurring, right? So after this line of code, just a see, after this statement, the other statements are not getting executed. Okay, your application is breaking here only. So we should not break the application. That is one point. And even though some part of application is giving some exception, means it should not break the complete application. So for that we have try catch exception handling. We call it as a exception handling, and exception handling structure is like this. So try block will be there. So in the try block, you will keep whatever code you will feel there might be some exceptions. Okay, the suspected code you will keep it in the try block. So in safer side, you can keep all your methods or all your complete code, you can keep it in the try block. Okay, and then try block should be followed by one or more catch blocks. One catch block should be compulsory. So this is try block, and it should be followed by one or more catch blocks. Okay, and 0 or 1 finally block. If you want, you can define the finally block, or if you don't want, you can avoid the finally block. So one try block should be followed by minimum 1 or more catch blocks, followed by 0 or 1 finally blocks. So now we will see how it will behave. So this will raise the exception, right? So immediately, so what it will do, it will go to the appropriate exception. So here in the catch blocks, I defined argument null exception. Okay, and this catch exception is having divided by 0 exception, and this catch block is having exception class. So when a exception occurs, it will go to the appropriate catch block. So here it is divided by 0 exception, because this will be the divided by 0 exception only, and it will execute this exception. Okay, it will execute this catch block, then it will execute the finally block. So the sequence here would be, so the value of z will be 0 only. So the sequence will be, if exception occurs, okay, it will go to the appropriate catch block and it will execute the catch block, and finally it will executes final block. So it at every time, like at any time, only one catch block will be executed. If exception occurs, at any time one catch block will be executed. Even though if you define 3 catch blocks or more, you can define a number of catch blocks, but only one catch block will be the appropriate one, will be the executed. And here exception is the root class for all exception classes. Exception is the base class or root class for all the exception classes, and these are the child classes. Argument null exception, divided by zero exception, these are the child classes. So here there is one rule. When you are defining catch blocks, always child class should be first. Always child class will have the, you have to define child class first, then only parent class next. What will happen? See, I will move this catch block here. So this is the parent class and this is a child class. Okay. So what error it is giving? A previous catch already catches exceptions. So when this divided by zero exception occurs, so sequentially it will check for all the exceptions, and this exception is root base class is capable of holding the child class object. We discussed that in the groups concept. Okay. So base class is capable of holding the child class object. So this will take the divided by zero exception, and this exception, this catch will never works. This catch will never execute because whatever exception occurs divided by zero, that will be catched by your previous exception only. So that's why always parent class should be the last one in the sequence. Okay. So here you assign y equal to 2. So now your exception, it will not throw any exception, right? So then how the execution will happen? What is the sequence of execution? Okay. So now exception will not occur. Okay. So now any of the catch block will executes. Hello?
First the parent will execute.
No. So when exception occurs, when runtime error occurs, then only these catch blocks will be executed.
Okay.
So now no exception, no catch block will execute, but finally blocks executes. So the purpose of having finally block, so if exception occurs, any of the catch blocks will execute and finally block will execute. And if exception doesn't occur, no
only
catch
finally
block
will be executed.
finally. So you can use this finally block to do some you can write some code where you want to free the resources, okay, closing connections, like freeing objects. Because if exception, suppose here you opened one connection, okay, after this line exception occurred, and if you don't clear it, so somewhere you are clearing here, okay, and if exception occurs, this line of code will never execute. So try to use finally block for like the code which will free the objects, free the resources, okay, for cleanup code, so that this finally block will execute always, even though if exception occurs or not occurs. So you can use this finally block for cleaning up the resources. So this is the exception handling in your .NET. Suppose this is in the
Like how the output will be?
five.
Okay.
In case of no exception.
No exception.
In case of exception, yeah, in case of exception, the output would be 0. Okay, this is exception handling. Exception handling is, I can say, mandatory, because in real time you'll get a lot of exceptions. So try to keep all of your functions within the exception. Okay, so it's always better to define exception, catch with exception clause. So this is capable of catching any kind of exception. Okay. So suppose if you want to define, if you want to catch exception in some other class, okay, so I will add one class library here. New project, Windows, class library, business access layer. Okay, so I'll remove this class. I'll add one class. Okay, so here I'm defining one function. Public int get result passing two variables, int I, to j. Okay, so return I by j. Okay, so this is the class. Now your exception class, your exception okay, it's 2, or you are calling here only, or else I'll call it from here. So first I have to create object of that BAL. Okay, so first you have to refer. See, this is in a separate project, right? So you have to refer that project here. Add reference, browse, projects, BAL. Then the project reference it will be added, and here using BAL. So this will refer all your classes. So create object of your exception BAL obj equal to new exception BAL. Okay, call obj dot get result. You have to provide value. Here I am providing 19 comma 0. So here actually it will raise exception not in this code, right? It will raise the exception here in this code. Okay, this is business access layer, which is there in a separate project. Okay, so it will go to the results. Okay, here it's 19 comma 0, right? It will give the exception. Okay, but that exception will be catched here. Okay, but you are not getting any details because here you are not handling any exception. Okay, so here you can do the exception handling. Exception, you can put this in the try block. Okay, catch ex exception ex, and you throw the exception here. THROW throw ex. Now you see. So here you are throwing the exception to the application layer. So actually it will raise the exception, and here it is being caught, and it is throwing the exception to the divided by 0. Here now you can see the exception details. Earlier the exception details were null, but here from another application, from another layer, you are throwing the exception here. Okay, so this is about exceptions. Any questions?
No.
Okay. So then we are completing sessions. Then we will start these topics in the next week.
Okay.
Okay. So how is your practice is going on?
Yeah, I'm going on, but I'm little bit backward.
Okay.
Like,
Anyway, we don't have session tomorrow.
no.
Okay. So again we will be having session on Monday evening. I think you will get some time.
Yeah.
So I try to practice it and
But if I, like when I'm doing with the video,
mhm.
yeah, so in some places I'm not able to get the coding.
Okay.
Yeah. Is it possible to send the coding of your files like exception.aspx
Sure,
like
sure.
that files?
I will check that.
Yeah.
I'll send the code.
Yeah, I want the XML, ASPX, and the last class also, the comment, the loading.
Sure, sure. I will do that.
Yeah, I'm getting it because if I don't put the video in the mute mode, I'm getting the disturbance. That's why I'm always keeping in the mute mode.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
So you need XML.
yeah, XML and this exception handling
Okay.
and the comment one, the content page overloading one, master pages loading.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. Sure, I will send. I will send. I will send after the class.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay, then again we will
Oh,
Monday.
yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks.